Good evening, good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. How are you doing? It's beautiful evening. Your brother Tony is at the dinner table tonight. So come on in, one, come all, my brothers and sisters. I'm going to feed you some good nutritional food for the soul tonight. Also, my brother and sister, would like for you to be aware that we may have some guests that come in tonight. So if you don't mind, I would like for you to scoot over and let the guests sit down so he or she can get the first serving of this good soul food. You know I'm not going to run out. If this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationships from a spiritual point of view. When I say a spiritual point of view, I strongly believe in how God established a relationship between the man and a woman with his son Jesus as the foundation of the relationship. If you disagree with the foundation of a relationship between a man and a woman, I encourage you to go to the book of Genesis and look at how God established the relationship. God had a unique relationship with the man first and foremost. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the man. Thirdly, he represented the woman to the man after he took a bone out of the man Adam's flesh. He closed Adam's wound and he represented the woman to the man. And in the presence of God, the man Adam said, "Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I should call a woman because she came from man." That's the position that I come from. Now, you come to the dinner table and you have another view of how God like a relationship. You have what is called free will. You can do whatever you choose to do. But if you sit at the dinner table tonight, I'm letting you know where I come from. I strictly come from the biblical account in the book of Genesis when it was God, it was the man Adam, and it was the woman Eve. That's exactly where I come from. So, my brother and sister, I hope that you enjoy this. And those of you that are guests, I hope that you really have an appetite for this good food of the soul. How you doing, brother Brian? Uh, Thank you for coming to the dinner table, my brother. For those of you that are coming in, I'm on two different platforms, live on two different platforms. I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube. Those of you on YouTube, I may make a comment to those on Facebook. You may not see their names or comments, but I will call out their name and comments every now and then. And those of you that are on Facebook, or I may call out a name of a brother or sister that's on YouTube. You may not see their name in comments, but I will call out their name in the comments. So we're family here, and with family, we could discuss. Uh, we have open dialogue here at the dinner table. Okay, so during the course of us eating at the dinner table, my brother and sister, if you have a question, you could by all means ask the question or make your comment, long as you're respectable for the other brother and sister, especially we have guests that gonna come in and sit at the dinner table. You could be respectable, but and if you have a sidebar conversation with another brother or sister while we're at the dinner table, try to focus on what's on the menu for tonight. And what's on the menu for tonight is, if you're not the one, how will you know? Again, this is what we're going to discuss at the dinner table. If you're not the one, how will you know? Now, what am I talking about on this menu? If you're not the one, how will you know? My brother and sister, there are some of you, you really have a man or a woman in mind, but for some reason, it's not running as smoothly as you think. You really have a strong desire to be in a relationship, sister, with this particular man. Brother, you have a strong desire to be in a particular relationship with a woman, but for some reason, there's friction and there's confusion when it comes to trying to get together. You want to put all your eggs in the basket, my brother and sister, but this man or woman, for some reason, he or she doesn't see or view you the same as you see him or her. How you doing, Sister Renee Sim? Welcome to the dinner table. With that, my brother and sister, are you, some of you brother and sister, are you unsure where you really stand at as far as relationship goes when it comes to a particular man or a particular woman? I am referring to that man or that woman, my brother and sister, that you have very strong feeling towards, yet your mind is refusing to accept some facts. That man or woman has your life on hold. That's true. That man or woman has your life on hold, and you can't handle the truth, though it's staring you directly in your face. And that's what we're talking about at the dinner table when you look at the menu. If you're not the one, how will you know? Now, my brother and sister, let's go to the appetizer before we get to the main course. The appetizer, when we go to, it is written in Jeremiah chapter 31:3. That's again Jeremiah chapter 31:3. Again, Jeremiah chapter 31:3. The Lord says, He will say to them, I have loved you with an everlasting love. That is why I have continued to be faithful to you. That's the Lord viewpoint when he has a relationship with a man or a woman. Listen to the words that Jeremiah wrote. He will say to them, that's the Lord, because the Lord doesn't play. The Lord is ready to commit to you, brother, and he's ready to commit to you, sister. The Lord doesn't play no game. You're not going to have a sense that that you're not important to the Lord. You are the utmost important person to that Lord individually, my brother and sister. He will say to them, I have loved you. Check that out. I have loved you. That means that the Lord loved you, my brother and sister, before you came into this world. Love, ED, is past tense. So the Lord loved you when you was in his mind, when you were not even formed in the womb of your mother. So he have already loved you. He loved you now, and he shall always love you in the future. That's how the love of the Lord is. The Lord doesn't play games with you, my brother and sister. That is why I will continue to be faithful to you. And one thing about the Lord, my brother and sister, he will be faithful to you. Brother, a woman may not be faithful to you. Sister, a man may not be faithful to you, but the Lord will be faithful to you. Now, we're going to look at this menu, and we're about to bring the main course side, and we're going to discuss. We got something to talk about at the dinner table tonight. If you're not the one, how will you know? There are 12 points that I'm going to make, my brother and sister, and listen to this. You may have experienced this point, some of these points, or you have been through it, or you're currently going through it. If you have been through it, you could clearly identify what I'm talking about. If you're going through it, I'm sorry that I stepped on your toes, but you need to be aware, my brother and sister, that you're not the one. And don't, brother, and don't, sister, look at yourself like you're bad. You're good. How you doing, sister? William, welcome to the dinner table. So don't downgrade yourself, my brother and sister. Number one, he or she is not accessible. That's right. He or she is not accessible. It's hard to get to that man, sister, or brother. It's hard to get to that woman. It's just like that man or woman is the president of the United States and got security around him or her, and you can't even contact him or her without going through the Secret Service. You have to have a full background check and everything, but he or she has accessibility to you. That should not be the case, my brother and sister. So if a man and a woman is very not accessible, that's a red flag that you need to look out for. If he or she start out early being accessible, then all of a sudden pop up every now and then, don't get into a serious, committed, and covenant relationship with this type of individual. Number two goes along with number one. Unexplained accessibility in time. That's right, unexplained accessibility in time. He or she will disappear on you without notice. He or she'll pop in and they'll pop out. When they'll pop in, they just pop in like at the spur of the moment. And you always, whatever you got planned, you will drop your plans and be accessible to that man or woman. But he or she is not accessible to you. But you always accessible to that man or woman. That's right. You're accessible to them. But you think that it's going to be something just because he or she came into your life and you had a brief good time, and then all of a sudden that man or woman become just like Casper the Friendly Ghost, and he or she disappear on you. And when he or she disappear on you, they get back to number one. They become unaccessible to you, non-accessible to you, excuse me, non-accessible. Number three, my brother and sister, that man or that woman, when he or she constantly have your calls going to voicemail, he or she constantly allow your text to go to the text, and he or she does not answer the voicemail or your email in a common sense amount of time. They would, if you call them on, if you leave a voicemail, they would even say something unintelligent like, "Did you leave a voicemail for me? Did you call me?" They seen your number and they listen to your voice. And then when it comes to texts, sometime on some of these phones, some of you brother and sister may can identify with this. On some of the telephones, my brother and sister, when you send a text out, it depends on how you set up your phone and stuff. Sometimes you can see them reading what you have sent to them. They will actually read it, and you could see right by their name, read. They read, but they did not respond to it. But then they'll come back a few hours later, or a day later, or days later, and say, "I just got your text." That man or that woman is lying to you. You're not important to that man or woman's life, my brother and sister. Number four, when a certain person call him or her in your presence, listen to this. This man and this woman, they are in your presence, and you supposed to be having a long time to get to know one another. But this another particular man, another particular woman, contact that man or woman, and they totally ignore you while they're talking on the phone or responding to text. It's like you're not there no more. And then sometimes they would take a call and they would say, "Excuse me for a moment." And they'll get up and go in another room or go outside so you cannot hear the conversation. Then they'll come back like nothing didn't happen. Some of you brothers and sisters have been through that before. Some of you brothers and sisters, you're going through that right now. They totally ignore you when that particular man or woman contact them. That's a red flag. Number five, my brother and sister, he or she cannot talk to you when a certain person around. That's right. You may contact him or her. You may hear the voice, sister, of another woman. Brother, you may hear the voice of another man, and they quickly say, "I'll call you right back." Some of you experienced that. "I'll call you right back. I can't talk to you right now." But if you do the same thing to them, they want to know what's up. Red flag, my brother and sister. Don't let nobody put your life on hold. Number six, he or she had, now this is a big one. He or she has what is called a roommate, but you can't go over to his or her home or apartment, wherever they stay at. Some of you brothers and sisters, brother, you may be dating a woman and she might have a man that she says her roommate, or vice versa. Sister, you may be dating a man and he have a woman staying over there and he said that she's your roommate. She's his roommate. If they so much of a roommate, why you can't go over to where she or he stay at? If a man or a woman, listen to me very carefully, my brother and sister. If a man or a woman claim that he or she has a roommate of the opposite sex, and if it's just supposed to be roommate, and he or she doesn't have, they're not, don't have no relationship other than a roommate. The question is, why can't you go over there? Why he or she has to come to your place, or you have to meet them somewhere else? Why? Red flag. You're not the one. Number seven, he or she doesn't see nothing wrong. Listen to this. He or she doesn't see anything wrong with being good friends with an ex, and he or she will even hang out with his or her ex. Isn't that something, my brother and sister? A man or a woman, they have caught themselves breaking up with an ex. and you, brother, or you, sister, supposed to be in relationship with that man or woman. But he or she is still have accessibility to their ex, and their ex have accessibility to them, and they don't have no big problem by letting you know that they just friends and they hanging out together. Is that appropriate? Would he or she like for you to be around your ex that much? More than likely, And then they're gonna parade it like they're just friends. Let me tell you something, my brother and sister. Any man or any woman that have constant contact with his or her ex, and they don't see nothing wrong with hanging out with their ex, the story is not over. More than likely, the ex know about you, but they still got some things going on. And let me tell you about when a man or woman still have constant contact with his or her ex, and they still hang out together. They still very familiar with one another, my brother and sister. They're very familiar with one another. And let me tell you this, some of you brothers and sisters have heard things like this before. There may be a man that have children with a woman, or the woman have children with the man. And this is a hypothetical. Let's say that the woman is about to go to Dubai with her children, sisters. The woman is about to go to Dubai with the children, right? And the man that you're dating say, I'm going to Dubai with my ex, but we're not going to be doing anything. I'm just going for the sake of the children. It's just family time. She gonna stay in the room with the children, and I'm gonna have a separate room. But it ain't nothing. I just want you to understand now. Now, some of them might even come to you and say, "What you ain't got no problem with. Just believe me, nothing is not gonna happen." Brother or sister, don't buy that. Why would a man want to go to Dubai with his ex and the children and think you're supposed to buy it? Or on the flip side, brother, how would you feel if the woman that you're dating, she don't have no problem with going to dinner and even going on, let's say, a vacation with her ex? She's going on a cruise, and she tell you that her ex is going alone, but she got her girlfriends are going on a cruise, and it just so happens the guy that she used to be her ex, he happened to be going on this trip too. Don't you believe that stuff? It was planned already. That woman is using her quote unquote her girls as a cloak because she already planned to be with her ex. Red flag. You are not the one, my brother, and you're not the one, my sister. Number 8. You, brother, or you, sister, you feel something going on between that man or that woman's friend of the opposite sex. You feel it. You know it's more to the relationship when they just say they're just friends. Let me tell you this, my brother and sister. That feeling that you're feeling, do not discount that feeling. You're not being possessive. You're not being crazy. Believe that what you are experiencing on the inside of you, my brother and sister, because guess what? And I said, brother and sister, I'm talking about you, Christian brother and sister. That's your discernment. Your discernment, the Spirit of the Lord letting you know something ain't right in the milk. Something is not right. So, my brother, if you move towards a serious stage, sister, if you move towards a serious stage, then you start talking to that man or woman about being in a committed relationship. You both commit. However, there's a certain man, brother, there's a certain woman, sister, that your mate cannot let go. They would even go back to say, we've been the best friends since we was riding tricycles together, since Head Start, since kindergarten. It ain't nothing. We just the best of friends. But guess what, my brother, and guess what, my sister? If that man, sister, tell you that that woman is his best friend, brother, if that woman tell you that that man is her best friend, where will that lead you? You see, when you get in a serious and committed relationship, especially when you're about to move towards the covenant phase of a relationship, you should be promoted to the best friend, brother. And sister, you should be promoted to the best friend. Especially when you're moving toward, when you're serious and you are commit to the relationship and you about to say I do, brother, if you the husband supposed to be becoming the husband, you supposed to be that woman's best friend. And sister, you supposed to be that man's best friend. So if they have a best friend of the opposite sex and they can't tend to let them go because they say they friends and stuff like that, don't believe it. How you doing, Sister Kirkpatrick? Red flags. You are not the one. How you doing, Sister Joy? Welcome to the dinner table. You're not the one. Number 9, my brothers and sisters. If that man or that woman is too secretive, but they want you to be transparent, he or she will not have a flowing conversation with you. When you ask him or her questions about his or her personal life and stuff like that, it's like, why do you want to know all this? But you are supposed to be in a relationship, right? But he or she wants you to be transparent when he or she asks you questions about your life. Red flag. I'm telling you something, my brother and sister. If you're dating someone that's very secretive, or let's say another, very sneaky, that man or that woman got another life. They had another life. The reason why they want you to be transparent is so they can monitor you. When you have a secretive person that you're dating, my brother and sister, they're not going to hardly talk about their family. They're not going to hardly talk about their friends. They're just going to give you a little dab of information. Some of you brothers and sisters, it's sad to say, you really don't know where that man or woman stay at. But here she know where you stay at. You might not have met not one family member, but here she done met some of your family members. You may not have met one of his or her friends. You may have met a friend or a few friends, but you have introduced him or her to your friend, and on and on. And this is very secretive, my brother and sister. Brother, when you call yourself supposed to be in a relationship with a woman and she do not want you around her family and her friends, sister, when this man don't want you around his family and friends, or to add to it, they don't want nobody to know about your relationship. Now, when a man, sister, or woman, brother don't want you to say nothing about your relationship with him or her, major red flag. He or she is dealing with someone else or other people. He or she will be very strategic if you all go out. If you go out, more than likely you're not going to go out too much. If you go out, you're going to go way out where the chance of someone seeing you is very slim. If you stay in the same city, he or she will not be caught with you in public nowhere. But you know why? Because he or she would think that he or she may run into someone that he or she know that they don't want you to know about. More than likely, when a man and woman is so secretive, whereas he or she don't want to introduce you to the closest people in his or her life, and they definitely don't want to meet none of your people. It's basically you are just what we call you just for a moment. Your moment could last for days, weeks, months, and even years, but you just for the moment. You are temporary. And those type of individual will ghost on you in a minute. Number 10, my brother and sister. He or she keeps getting into other relationships and keep coming back to you. That man or that woman that you are in a relationship with, you so soul tied to that man and woman, he or she knows that you're not going to go nowhere. And they get to the point, my brother and sister, where they would get in a full relationship and you will know it. And he or she will not lie to you on that. They won't lie to you. That man or that woman that live with you, brother and sister, you shouldn't be living together anyway if you're not married. But that man or woman that living with you right now, he or she will go move in with another man or woman, and you'll be on hold for that man or woman to come back. Or let's say he or she doesn't live with you, but they be with another man or woman, and you know the man and you know the woman, and they don't care about you knowing. They will point blank let you know that you're not the one, but you still holding on. You're holding on to that invisible leg while they're trying to go out the door. And the moment that man have conflict with that woman, or the moment that man have conflict with that woman, they come to you because they know you're going to be accessible. And let me tell you this, my brother and sister, some of you brothers and sisters, you could have met, brother, you could have met the right woman. Sister, you could have met the right man. But this other man or this other woman got you so soul tied, you would jeopardize a relationship with the right man or the right woman that God brought into your life for these zeros that are nothing but liabilities. They are not assets. They come to take, they don't come to give. Which leads to number 11, he or she, they keep taking from you and they don't give you nothing. Have you ever been in a relationship, or are you presently in a relationship right now? Every time he or she communicate with you, he or she always wants something or needs something. They always want and they always need. If you brothers stay in the house, or sister, you stay in the house and you're on your way over to where they stay at, they want you to stop by the store. It's always going to cause you to see him or her. You cannot even walk in the park without going in your pocket spending money. That go for men and women. They always want you to go in your pocket for something because they'll say they need something or they want something. And some of them will say, will you loan me this? And they have no intention of paying you back. And how many times have you heard a man or a woman say, loan me this, and you loan it to them and you never get it back? And then when they ask you again to loan them something, then they'll say, I'm going to pay you back for what you loaned me last time. And they never do it. They never pay you back. And you continue to give them money or whatever resources they want. You keep giving. And when you are in need, he or she will not rescue you. He or she will always have an excuse why he or she could not help you. He or she will say something like, I wish you would have called me earlier because I had this bill that I had to pay. Or I wish you would have called me earlier because I got to pay this bill. They will never rescue you. They will let you be on the ship and they'll let you sink. They are liability. They are not asset. That's a red flag, my brother, sister. Number 12, you keep catching him or her constantly lying. They lie, they lie, they lie, they lie. He or she'll say something this time, and they will look you straight in the eye and tell you a bald-faced lie. And then when you call him or her on it, they will gaslight you like you misheard what I said. And they'll try to flip the script on you like you crazy. And you'll have yourself scratching your head and say, did he or she really say that? They'll have you second guessing yourself. These are some red flags, my brother and sister, that you aren't the one. And this is a recap, my brother and sister, from the top. If he or she is not accessible to you, red flag. If he or she has unexplained accessible time, they disappear on you without a notice. Number 3, when he or she constantly have you going to voicemail and the emails don't get answered, and they don't respond to you in a timely manner like they respond to everybody else when they have been around you. Number 4, when a certain person calls him or her, they totally ignore you. You could be on private time and they would get on their phone and talk to another man or another woman, and you there, and they don't care about your time. They'll talk, laugh, ha, and all this stuff with another man or woman in your presence. And then when they get off the phone, they are told they seem like they bored. Or they're looking at their cell phone playing games on their phone when you're sitting right there by them. Or you go to a restaurant, and when you all supposed to be talking, they got the cell phone and they texting and everything, and they totally ignore you. How you doing, Sister Cheryl? Welcome to the dinner table. Number 5, he or she talks to you. They don't talk to you around certain people. They would talk to you around some people, but there's this certain man, brother, and there's this certain woman or sister that the person that you're into, when these type of people come, they don't want to talk to you. They might even play like they don't even know you. Red flag. Number 6, he or she has a roommate, but you can't go to their house. He or she say that we just roommates, a member of the opposite, and they don't have nothing going on, but we're roommates. They'll have to come to where you at, or you meet someone. You never can go over there where he or she at, but they roommates. Red flag. Number 7, he or she doesn't see anything wrong with being good friends and even hanging out with their ex. They will say that you're jealous. They will say that you are possessive. It ain't nothing going on. We just good friends, and that's an ex. Or it could be a member opposite. It might not be an ex. It could be a member opposite that they like hanging out with, and they want you to buy it. Red flag. Number 8, he or she will not end the relationship with the person that you feel something is going on, possibly going on. My brother and sister, when your discernment kick in about a certain person, believe it. Believe it. You're not crazy. They will make it seem like you crazy. I'm going to tell you this, brother. If that woman that you're dating and there's this certain man that comes around and you got these vibes going on, that's your discernment. It letting you know something like the milk, something is in the milk. Sister, when this certain woman come around and you get that vibe, that's your discernment. Something is going on. Don't fool yourself, my brother. So they will gaslight you. You're not crazy. God gave you discernment. It's up to you whether or not you're going to go by your discernment. Don't let no man or woman play you for a fool. Because if you allow them to play you for a fool, they will. Number 9, he or she is too secretive. How you doing, Pam Pam? Welcome to the dinner table. He or she is too secretive, but they want you to be transparent. They will not tell you too much about their life. You just know just a little, but they know your whole life story. You may not even know where he or she live. You may have an idea. If he or she work, you may have an idea. You may have ideas, but he or she will act like it's private. And they will sometimes let you know it's private. They'll say something like, why you need to know? You see me now? Whenever you want us to hook up, I come to you. Listen to that. I come to you. Why you can't go to them? Why, if you know where he or she stay at, if he or she tell you where he or she stay at, why you can't go visit him or her sometime? You are not the one. That's right, Sister Selma. When you ask questions, they will ghost you. That's right. Those secretive people, they will ghost you because you trying to find out information on them, and they don't want to discuss it with you. They will ghost you in a minute, and then you will be so soul tied to them, and you will give up. You will call him or her if they answer the phone, and then you ask what happened, and he or she may tell you what happened. And in your mind you'll say, "Well, I was out of place." You'll start making up excuses. I was out of place. Whenever you want to talk about whatever you're doing, you could talk to me. They got you right where they want you. Red flag. He or she get into other relationships and keep coming back to you. That's right. They know you ain't going nowhere. They will even know that you they will even know that you're not going nowhere. They have heard you say so many times, you keep doing this, I'm gonna go, but you never do it. And they get so tired, they know you are howling wolf, you're not going nowhere. And they know that if they be with this person, if something go wrong or they get on bad terms with the other person, they can easily come back to you, and you'll take them back with your arms wide open. And you think that y'all finally gonna get together, so they're going in and out of your life, in and out, and you think that one day you all gonna get together. Want me to tell you what? One day y'all will get together. If that man or woman probably get sick or lose a job or something like that, and that person that he or she will, then that man or woman that he or she with, if they lose whatever that other person like, they're gonna be by themselves and they're gonna come to you. And when they come to you, don't think they just coming to you because they know you're not going nowhere and you're going to support. If he or she needs something, they sick, you're gonna be there. If they get in financial trouble, you're gonna be there. If they need somewhere to live, you're gonna be there. And they know it. They don't love you. They don't listen to me. They don't love you. You are being used. That right, Sister Selma. Soul ties are real. You are being used because you soul tied. You put that man and woman on an invisible pedestal when only Jesus is supposed to be on that invisible pedestal. He or she again keep taking things from you. The ones that always talk about me, I, my. And they keep extracting things from you, but they never give you nothing. They never give you nothing. If you want to go see him or her, you got to come out of your pocket just to come be with them. It's always costing you. You can't even go to his or her house on a Friday night, Netflix and chill. He or she'll tell you stop by the store and get something. When you go out, you always doing the buying. Now he or she'll go out with you and stuff, but you the one who funding everything. They always taking their liabilities. And you feel the crunch sometimes, but you don't say nothing. You don't say anything. Some of you brothers and sisters, you have missed paying some bills. You have gotten behind on some bills for these type of people. You keep them up, but what about you? Number 12, you catch him or her. This is the final part again. You always catch him or her. They constantly lying to you. They lie so much they can't keep it straight. And when you bust them on it, they will convince you that you misinterpreted, or and they'll have it, and you'll be scratching your head thinking, I might have did get that incorrectly. He or she may have a point. They got you because they be gaslight. They will look in your eye and tell you a bold face lie. Envy, how you doing? Welcome to the dinner table. You better listen to this man. Facts, I've been there. Amen. Thank you. I'm telling you, my brother and sister, if you're not the one, you will know it. You will know it. That's why, my brother and sister, you got to go by facts. Your feelings, brother and sister, women are more emotional. Women are more emotional, but men, you got emotions too. You get all these soul ties, my brother and sister. You get all this, and then you Christian brother and sister, God continue to give you red flags. All this stuff that I'm just telling you, this is basic for my single brother and sister and some married people. You experience the same thing too. All these things that I'm telling you right now, if you have the spirit of God, the discernment will kick in and let you know that you're being played. You're being used. You're being abused. He or she doesn't care for you. And you see it. You see it and you know it. But there's a battle going on between your emotions and your mind. You know that that man and woman is a zero and they don't bring nothing. You see the zero. What he or she have? Jipper he's 6 feet tall, dark and handsome, got six pack, got this fancy high-end car, and he got a little position, he popular and everything. But what about you, sister and brother? This the best looking woman you ever had. She look good. She got a nice little shape. And you like her on your own. She your showpiece. She make you feel important because other people say, how you get her? What they don't know is she in your pocket because you're an ATM machine, brother, and that's why she there. Stop letting her go to the bank, and you're gonna see. And some of you sisters, you get these no good men so much. If you started off laying on your back for this man, whenever he want to come through at night, he call and say, "Are your children sleep or whatever?" He come do his thing and he leave, and you may not see him for a few days until his appetite come up again. And once you say to him, "We ain't doing that no more," I was wrong for giving you my body. And my body right now, I got sense enough. This is for the Lord. I'm waiting to get married. And then when you take that body part from his sister, he ghosts you. That's all he wanted. Sister Simba said he can't spend holiday with you. That's right. He can't spend holiday, or she can't spend holiday with you. Your birthday, they'll promise to be with you on your birthday. No show. Don't call her nothing. You know what, my brother and sister? There's this woman that I know. And she met, now what I'm about to say, don't take this wrong, because some people that meet online, they actually get together and it works out. You don't never know how God going to put people together. But on this one occasion, there's this lady I know. She was leaving one state to meet up with this guy. They've been having good conversations and everything, right? They've been FaceTiming and all that kind of stuff. She booked a flight to come to the state and city that he's in. They was conversating regular. When her plane landed, she kept calling old boy. Old boy did not answer his phone. It kept going through voicemail. It just so happened that she knew some people in that city. So she had to end up staying with these particular people. She had to rebook a flight and go back to the state that she stayed in. You know what old boy did? In a few days, he finally contacted her. Old boy said he had to do something for one of his relatives, and that's what got him tied up. I'll tell you about old boy. Old boy had another woman. This what happened. Old boy had another woman. He never admitted that to her, but I already knew what was going on. When she was telling me that scenario, I already knew before she got to the end of the story that he had another woman. When he did not pick up that phone, And it kept going to his voicemail. Then he gonna call her a few days later and apologize. I'm telling you, my brother. I'm telling you, my sister. You know whether or not you in or out. You know it. Because let me tell you something, my brother and sister. A man or a woman that's really into you, he or she will purposely make time for you. He or she will purposely be accessible to you. Him or her will purposely get back in contact with you. We know that people have to work and stuff, but they will purposely get back with you within a short period of time. They're not going to call you and say, did you call me? They seen your call and they were calling you back. When you text him or her, it don't take that long to text back. You seen when they read your message. If you got that capability on your phone, you seen it got read up there. Unless they got their phone where you can't detect it, but they see it. A lot of time, let me tell you something, my brother and sister. A lot of time when you text a man or woman, they're going to check their phone off and on. Believe it. They're going to check their phone off and on. Even if they got a pause at the drawer, no phone, they're going to find some kind of way. Because some people, they will leave their phone at home. They'll turn around. They could be about to clock into their job. They'll turn around and go home and pick up their phone. People's cell phone be closed to them. Speaking of cell phone, my brother and sister, watch out for those that have unexplained accessible time when they tell you this. My battery needed charging. Watch out for that line. My battery needed charging. Why that battery need charging every time they around you? But why when they were now not around you, their battery need charging? Why is it a whole bunch of days could go by, you call them and text, they don't respond. But there are certain days, my brother and sister, you could call, they'll talk to you all day. There are certain days when you could text and they'll text you back and stuff. You got to watch out for those. That means somebody else is in the picture, my brother and sister. You're not a failure. I want to put that to you, my brother and sister. You're not a failure, but you fail in these relationship tests that are put in front of you. Satan is blinding you, and you allow Satan's son and daughter to keep hurting you. How you doing, Sister Demetria? Welcome to them. Tell you allow these men and women to keep fooling you, bamboozling you, and lying to you. Go if you are a son or daughter of God, that discernment that God give you, that discernment letting you know something is wrong. I'll give you an example. If any of you used to look at Spider-Man, if any of you ever looked at Spider-Man, you know when something usually be wrong. You remember Spider-Man would say, my spider senses are tingling. Let's even talk about, if you don't look at Superman, some of you used to look at, Spider-Man, some of you used to look at Superman, right? Superman was in love with Lois Lane. Superman could be in another, he could be flown to another galaxy. And there's something wrong with Lois and Lois in trouble. He will pick up on it. And whatever galaxy Superman was in, he'll turn around and fly back, and he knows exactly where Lois is at. So what am I telling you, my brother and sister? That little thing that Superman had for Lois Lane, and that little thing that Spider-Man say, my spider senses are tingling. You have something better than both of them. You have God discernment. God discernment, the spirit of his son Jesus will let you know something is not right. And you normally can detect it at the beginning of what appear to be a relationship. Let me tell you something, my brother and sister. When you single brother and sister, when you first going out on a date, I have said it before, I'm going to say it again. The person that you meet, that's not all of the person. As a matter of fact, that person don't see all of you. But from your standpoint, my brother and sister, how you doing, Sister Flo? Welcome to the dinner table. That's not all that person that you see. I know you very excited to be on a date with this person. That's the excitement phase of a relationship. Yeah, you're excited. But when that person starts getting comfortable, you're going to start seeing some stuff that you didn't see possibly on that date. Because when you're going out on a date, normally that man or that woman putting their best foot forward. A man does not have to have on a lot of makeup but he's making up in front of you, sisters. Sister, a woman can have on a lot of makeup, but that's not her. Listen to me again. A man may not have on a lot of makeup, but he's making up some stuff in front of you. A woman may have on makeup, but that's not her makeup. That's not her. So what am I saying? Both the man and woman, that's not all of that man and woman. The little bit that you see, that's why I always tell you, my brother and sister, when it comes to possibly getting a relationship with a man or woman, don't waste your time. And don't waste that other man and woman time. Don't waste your time. I always tell you, my brother and sister, when it comes to dating and stuff, you can have fun, but it's an interview. You going for an interview. Take it as an interview. Have your little fun. And I recommend this to you, my brother and sister. If you go on your first date, my recommendation, don't go to the movie. Don't go to the movie. You know why I said don't go to the movie? Because you can't really talk to a person in the movie. You are expected to be quiet. Meet that person in a neutral place where you can talk. You are doing an interview. You can wait to the movie another time. You supposed to be interviewing a potential mate. That's why you ask God whether or not this person will fit in your life for your purpose and your gift. You ask God at the beginning. You don't ask God at the end. You don't go to your family and friends and say what you think about him or her. That's what most people do. You want to introduce a man and woman to your family and friends and co-workers and social media. Why don't you introduce the thought of that person to God? Go to God first and ask God to give you discernment so you could see that person. That person got a mask on. And it's not even Halloween. But that man or woman have a mask on. You have to ask God to let you see behind the curtains. Because that man or woman could be a puppeteer and they looking for you to be a puppet so they could pull your strings. You got to be able, my brother and sister, to see the puppeteer. So you can see the strings that he or she trying to attach to you to make you do all that kind of stuff. I'm warning you. I want you, brother and sister, if you have a desire for a member of the opposite sex, I don't want you to go through some of the minefields that your brother Tony have experienced. I don't want you to walk through this dark valley that your brother Tony had walked through. A lot of time when I talk to you, my brother and sister, I know this firsthand. That's just like if I touch a stove, my brother and sister, and it burned my hand. I could put my hand on an electric stove. It could look cool, but I put my hand on it, burn my hand. You mean to tell me you are an exception to the rule? You're gonna go right behind me and put your hand down? You think your hand is not gonna get burnt and you put it right on your hand right on it after I done got my hand burnt? I'm telling you, my brother and sister, I don't want you being heartache. I don't want you wasting your time. Your time is precious, my brother and sister. I don't want you wasting your time. Sister Simmons said, when they introduce you as their friend, you are not the one. Sister Simmons, that is very, very true. My brother and sister, Sister Simmons, she hit on something very important. When this man or woman claim that you all are in a relationship, they claim it now to you. They would say, I love you, you my this, you my that. But when you are around a family friend, they introduce you as a friend. Some of them won't even use your name. They'll say your friend. This is my friend. They're just like, I take my wife somewhere and I introduce her as a friend. No, I'm going to tell the people her title. This is my wife. If I was engaged to my wife, I'll say, this is the woman that I'm engaged to, and we're getting married on this date. I wouldn't just tell people I'm engaged to my wife, because that's how some guys do you, sister, right now. You know, I have talked about that before when they give you a shut up ring. You think it's an engagement ring, but it's a shut up ring. If a man is engaged and he introduces his woman to other people, I'm engaged to her and we planning on getting married on this date. Not we just engaged. And some of you sisters, You let these men get away with a lot of this foolishness. We engaged. When you gonna get married? Or I'll get back with you on that. This is what some women do when they know. And let me tell you this, my brother. So there are so many women on social media. They good at putting up their engaged. But you ask them when, and they good at flashing their engagement ring to you. But you ask them what date they're gonna get married, they ain't even got a date. They got to get with the man and discuss it. That man just gave them a shut up ring. That's all it is. So that's why I tell you, sister, when you see women on social media and even in person flashing those what appear to be expensive ring, it might not be a real expensive ring. It could have been a ring that they got from the pawn shop, or it could have been a ring that another woman threw back in their face, or they took the ring back. And some of you, sister, that I hope this is not you. You wearing a ring, you think you're the originator of the ring, but that came off another woman's hand. And the guy didn't spend nothing on it. How you doing, Sister Deborah Scott? And how you doing, Sister Tierra? Welcome to the dinner table. So some of you brothers and sisters, just like Sister Selma say, if a man or woman introduce you as their friend, major red flag. Because if you was something, a man should be saying, if a man is serious, like I told you, brothers and sisters, man already know within a short period of time. A man should be introducing a woman to his family and friends that this the woman that I'm intending on marrying. And I'm intending on marrying her on this particular date. Sister, when a man put a ring on your finger, you know what you need? When you say I do, you need to ask that man, okay, I accept your ring. Now, when we going to get married? If a man give you an engagement ring, sister, he's supposed to have a date in mind. When her and I got together, I had a date in mind. When I talked to her, I told her what I asked her. I said, "What you doing on your birthday?" And she basically said she just chilling. I said, "On your birthday, that's the day we're gonna get married. Are you down with it?" She said, "We got to get you want to get some stuff together?" I said, "No, we ain't got to get all that stuff together. Your birthday is coming up. We don't have enough time to get all that stuff together. We're going to do this thing on your birthday." I said, "But this is the thing. You don't tell no one. I'm not going to tell no one. I know I didn't tell no one. Now, it haven't got back to me whether she told anybody. I would like to take her word for it that she didn't tell no one. But we didn't tell no one until the day we got married. The day we got married is when we opened it up to people. And that was within 3 months. 3 months. Basically shorter than 3 months. Because we met the tail part of August, the September, the tail part of August, all of September, in the beginning of October the 9th. That's really less than 3 months. As a matter of fact, it may be less than 2 months. Because we met during that a few years in the past, we met the tail part of August and we got married October the 9th of that year. So that, my brother, and that's my sister, I knew. Because I told her. I said, "We gonna get married on your birthday." Because I asked her, "What you doing?" She said, "Nothing." I said, we getting married on your birthday. You down with it?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Don't tell nobody." She said, "I won't," and we did it. Sister Selma said, "If you are the one, he would take you off the market." That's right, Sister Selma. Sister Selma, you need to have a show. But because you got some good points, Sister Selma. The man will take you off the market. And sister, if a man take you off the market, you need to leave those other guys alone. Brother, you need to leave those other women alone. They ain't no bring nothing to the party. They want you to provide for the party. They'll come get your stuff and then they'll go. Just like when it comes to a wedding, they'll come eat up all your food. They'll come drink up all your wine and stuff. They may bring you a gift here and there, but they ain't doing their nails. A lot of them ain't bring you nothing but themselves because they knows it. Most people that will come to your wedding, they're not bringing you nothing. They're bringing their stomachs. A few people will give you a gift, but majority of them is not going to give you anything. They there just for the show. I hope you brother and your sister got something out of this. You need to know if you're the one. If you're not the one, I just gave you some reasons, and Sister Simma, she gave some good reasons why you should know. If you have any comments or questions, my brother and sister, put the word wait down there. I will wait and I will address your question or your comment. If you don't have no question or comment after the word wait, you can go ahead, my brother and sister, and get some of this good soul food for the soul. And I pack, you could fix it up. I just do the kitchen. I clean up the dish and stuff. Just go ahead and take some of this food because it's abundant and share with other family members and friends. Sister Simma said, I used to have a show on relationship and marriage. I resigned 2 weeks ago. You ought to kick it up again, Sister Simma. Let me know when you're going to kick it up. Don't give up, sister. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. And I hope that you all have a good night. Peace out.